Hey everybody out there, my name is Dragnix, and I set my critical eye today on Road to Ballhalla. Take a bit of the old Marble Madness game with an emphasis on puzzle and action elements, and mix it in with a ton of snark, and you get something close to Road to Ballhalla. It comes out on Steam on August 5th, 2016 for $14.99, with a 20% pre-order discount available up till the launch. Here's the question to answer. Can the game's level design and gameplay elements help the game roll into your Steam library? Or will there be a fall from grace, as the game is unable to reach the heavenly Ballhalla of great gameplay? That's what I'm here to find out, but before I begin, this key was obtained from the publisher tinyBuild for the purposes of review. That won't change my opinion of the game in the end, but you should know that because of FTC guidelines, as well as the whole morals thing, you know? Today's format will be a little bit experimental, because I do want to try to streamline things a little bit so I can cover more on the channel. So I'm going to use the bullet points on the Steam store page as talking points, and discuss the elements to what the game claims it is. We'll see how it goes, but don't worry, you'll still get the analysis from my 4+ hours of gameplay that you can come to expect from this channel. The first talking point of the game store page discusses its rhythm-driven gameplay. It reads, "Move with the music to overcome even the most difficult hazards, like laser beams or insane camera angles trying to explode both your balls and your brain." So, okay, Road to Ballhalla has you controlling a singular ball and trying to make it to the end of the stage without dying. Of course, the road isn't going to be that easy, as each standard level is filled with various traps that you'll have to avoid. Once you make it to the end of a stage, you're graded on 2 criteria: the number of respawns you used, and the number of in-game cubes that you collected in that level. This will unlock the equivalent of stars that will open up new areas on the main hub world, depending on your performance. Gameplay-wise, it's a mixture of puzzle and action. The action element comes from the movement of the ball, as you'll have to time things right in order to get through various sections. Now, you have a health bar and some hazards won't kill you right away, so there is some leniency here. However, you have a speed boost that you can use, but some hazards will punish you for using it at the wrong time because it will cause an instant death if you hit them. I like this feature. It allows for time chasers to really shave off seconds of the time with its use, but has an appropriate punishment if you go too far with it. The puzzle element has to do with finding the right way through some of these levels. Now, some levels are insanely linear, but the game does open up in terms of giving you choices on how you go about things down the road. With that said, several levels have an optimal path just due to its layout, and you'll have to figure out exactly how to get through it via a combination of timing and pathfinding. The level design here is one of the things that shine. It restricts the player enough so that they focus on the puzzle elements without it being too abstract most of the time to understand the puzzle it's going for. Now, were there times that I stupidly didn't get the puzzle? Yeah, there were, but it became clear in most of those cases that it was my own damn fault for not listening or trying to go about things too fast. The game also does a good job of mixing up new elements that it introduces puzzle-wise, and yet doesn't have that mechanic stick around long enough for it to get stale. It'll introduce concepts like time switches and a timed phase mechanic with the ball that will force you to look at things differently from a problem-solving perspective. It's done at a great pace, and I really did enjoy trying to figure out what I needed to do next. With that said, there is one thing that can miss at times here regarding the game's presentation of information. The best example of this is a particular level where your controls end up changing when the camera direction changes. It never really does a good job of indicating what the new controls end up being after rotation, which will get frustrating when you keep on falling into a pit for the 30th time. Now, I like the concept behind the idea here, but it just needed a better hint of what the new direction was. Maybe a compass on the top of the screen indicating what direction was north now. Granted, it paid off when finally beating the level as a "yeah, I did it" kind of level, but it almost broke my frustration tolerance while doing it. The next point on the Steam page deals with the game's dynamic music and SFX. It reads, "The dynamic music by Emmy-nominated composer Nicholas Singer is tailored to the rhythm and style of each level, with sound effects adjusting to the level's music. Without it, you'd fail even harder." I will give the game this. Playing with the music off did seem to result in worse results actually. There does seem to be a pace that develops via the beats per minute of each song, and that seems to correspond with the speed in which the level wants from you. Now, that doesn't entirely 100% match up. There is an oddity here and there, but this is a good example of music complementing a game's gameplay. Now, sound design is strong here, with clear tones from when you pick up a cube or hit a switch, and you can rely easily on them in terms of gameplay to give you the indicator that you're doing things right or wrong. It's not overly done, and it's all on a reaction basis, so again, a good compliment to the game design here. As for the music itself as a whole, you may want to temper your expectations based on the Emmy nomination portion. The music is not bad, and like I said, it does well in integrating into the gameplay in question. It just doesn't have that overall addictiveness or draw factor like other games and their soundtracks. It's good for this game and its context, and it is nice to listen to, but not a lot beyond that. Take a listen. The third point of the Steam Store page labeled Epic Storyline reads, "Not included. Instead, be guided by floor text that make fun of you when you fail and drop awful puns even if you unexpectedly don't." What's clear in my mind is that the developers and designers of this game had fun with messing with the player. It's an alternate way of interacting with a player, but it's highly effective when you naturally run across these floor text within the gameplay. It got some good laughs out of me, with timely reveals when I died, and it plays the role of annoying yet useful guide rather well. Hell, in some cases, I wanted to actually die to see if it had any more quirky dialogue. Granted, it is a one-trick pony, so if it doesn't really do it for you early on, it's not going to do it for you later on. Although I will say this, once in a while, it took it one step too far. This is being a dick. Granted, a funny dick, but still a dick. The next point on the Steam Store page reads, Scavenger Hunt. Discover secret areas that lead to other secret areas, which in turn lead to other secret areas. You get the idea, and maybe even the rainbow that awaits you at the end of the treasure. Probably you'll just Google it though. I'll admit I didn't find any secret areas, but then again I wasn't looking that strongly either, so I really can't talk about this one. Next point, speed rolling. Replay levels in rush mode as fast as you can and prove that you are a good person by beating other players' high scores. Now these speedrun levels do add to the replayability somewhat, as the levels take away the completion elements of the cubes and the deaths and focus only on the time. It does lead to you avoiding sections completely within levels, and does feel like a good complementary gameplay style that didn't take a lot of effort to implement. So, good bang for buck. And what I like is that you really don't have to do these levels if you don't want to progress in the game. It seems like it's separate from the main puzzle element, so I do appreciate the game sectioning off the gameplay like this. It's nice to see the online scoreboards here, but to be perfectly honest, I don't usually pay a lot of attention to these portions, mostly because of the fact that I'm not a speedrunner myself. It's good that it's here, for those who need it, there it is. But other than that, nothing special. Next point is style your balls. Be rewarded with awesome bonus contents like tasty new colors, gluten-free, and trail effects for your balls. Look, this is simple customization. It gives you incentive to fully complete stages, as these unlocks come with fully completing a stage or overall progress within the game. The effects are just colors and trails, but they are a nice little touch-up to add some flair to the game. It's nothing too over the top. I am going to skip the Twitch integration point, mostly because I didn't try the Twitch integration. I don't have a Twitch account in terms of one that I actively use. So if you are a Twitch streamer, I would go and check out some other people on maybe OpenCritic, for example. The last point is workshop integration coming soon. Community levels are probably better anyways. Create and share your own challenges with the level editor, available a few weeks after launch. Now obviously I can't evaluate this point considering there's no integration yet. It's good that it's getting that and a level editor, and with the tools that are possible here, it'll be interesting to see what kind of levels that people come up with. It is a selling point, but not one that really affects the game right now as this video comes out, because it's a future promise. What it will affect though is the length of the game, and this is maybe one of the bigger complaints I have. Look, the game is $15, and after 4 hours, I'm about 70% of the way to Ballhalla. Now, I'm unsure if that 70% is a completion rating, and I don't know if Ballhalla has more levels within it. However, at least 1.5 of those hours was me messing with the game and repeating levels. So, some people may have problems with the lack of content on release here. The content here is quality, don't get me wrong, and there's score chasing and secret hunting aspects of the game. But if you're going for just a standard playthrough, be aware that the content may come up short of expectations. One last thing before my overall conclusion here. AVG and antivirus programs may hate this game. My AVG forced hard crashes when playing it, detecting it as a threat and yet unable to kill the program. Once disabling AVG, the program worked fine, and performance-wise, the game is fine. But if you're having major problems with the game crashing on you, look at that. In the end, Road to Ballhalla is a great example of a fun puzzle game with good potential for the future. Is it a must-buy right away? No, but it's definitely something that could get extreme bang for buck with the possibility of that workshop integration. The quality of the game's content present now is high, and it's definitely a recommendation from me for puzzle gamers and score chasers out there to pick up at some point. Just don't expect the world from it in terms of quantity of content right now. Anyway, this is Dragnix signing out, and I will see you tomorrow for Overwatch Friday. Later. Thanks for watching. Like the video, share it with a friend, and subscribe if you want more content like this. In the description below, you'll find the Steam review accompanying this vid, along with social media that you can follow me on, Twitter, Google+, and Facebook groups. And if you want to support the channel, click that Patreon on the left of the screen. And remember, keep on gaming.